kind of understanding that they've gone, okay, we understand that we need to do something different, and they've been kind of big enough to make that change. I think we're not seeing that enough from some of these teams, and they're not making changes where they need to do. And I think they really need to look at themselves, all teams, and go, is this the right way that we're playing? Is this the right formation we're playing? And do we need to improve this? And I think that's an honest conversation that some of these teams need to have.
Yeah, we've had an incredible day so far, but we have another one on the cards for you. We have Bayern Munich versus FC Schalke 04, a all-German affair. Hugely important again for both of these two teams. We can actually, before that, mention, of course, the MVP will be selected from the whole of today. Next match day prize winner given as well, and best goal as well. And stay tuned for all of the latest news on all of our social media channels. So yeah, the next game includes FC Bayern Munich, which consists of Alex Alguacil, Jose and Mestre, who I so wrongly called Mr. Pro Evo last week because they literally look identical. I'm joking. They look very similar, and I was very tired. So apologies to Mestre. Schalke have El Matador, Gul and Merriman as well. I mean, 6 players who all speak for themselves in terms of their experience. Another really, really important game. Bayern Munich had a terrific match day 2. Yeah, we're on 3 now. Match day 2, so they had 6 points, and Schalke not so much. They lost both games. Who's this game most important for?
I think it's for Schalke to regain some confidence. I think the tails are definitely up from Bayern Munich, having spoken to some of the boys upstairs and how they're preparing. I had a decent conversation with Lutty, who's their coach. You know, and as we said before, the way that they've gone away, they've pulled apart game film, they've analysed stuff to a molecular level, they've taken screenshots, they've had a look at video clips and are analysing it to that degree. And you can see that the particular choices they're making. For example, you mentioned Javi Martinez in matchday 2 being so critical. And I can see that being the case again today. Schalke, quite a physical team. They're going to need Barcelona. Bayern Munich are going to need physical weapons at the back to hold them off. But I think on the flip side of it, Schalke are going to need to find something that is going to disrupt this Bayern Munich machine.
Indeed, they will. We're going to go to the game very, very shortly. But let's go and hear what the players had to say pre-match.
Well, we are really happy. I mean, after a really good match day 2 against Barcelona, we came really motivated for this match day 3. We know it will be a really tough one. Schalke is a very intelligent team, and they will do their best to trying to take points from us. Well, I mean, the training session was really nice. I mean, I think we are more or less adapt to the gameplay here. So, well, excited. I mean, it's a really good opportunity to take a really good point for the table. Well, you know, let's see how to give our best, and let's try to win the games, and let's see.
Yeah, tomorrow we play against Bayern München. It will be 2 tough games. I think they have a very strong team on pitch, and also very good players behind the PlayStation. But for sure, every match day, we start with 0-0 and we try our best. Last time we didn't play very well, so we get 0 points. And for tomorrow, we're going to try to grab some points. This is the most important thing.
Beautiful words from the 2 sets of players. Harry, I'm going to ask the same question to you that I asked Wes. Who is this game more important for?
Let's see. Probably Bayern München, when you consider, again, you know, everyone at this point is chasing AS Monaco at the top. Bayern München, after, you know, maybe dropping points, I suppose you could say, to Manchester United, want to keep up that electric pace that they set last week. So I think probably more important to Bayern München.
Let's see if they can indeed increase or continue that electric streak. FC Bayern München versus FC Schalke 04. Let's go. So Bayern Munich, or Bayern München on your left-hand side of your screen. And within the camp, we have, of course, the world-famous Alex Alguacil. We also have the world-famous Mestre and the world-famous Jose from Spain. A wonderful contingent, a trio of players there. And on the right-hand side of your screen, we have Schalke 04, and those three players also need no introduction, so I won't give them one. I will, of course. They're wonderful players, Merriman, and of course Mike Linden, and of course Matthias Winkler. Three players who have been known across the PES League over the years, and eFootball.pro and eFootball PES 2020 as well this season, as being real top players, and collectively they've looked like the real deal in terms of a team. And then they had last match day. Yeah,
that's where things started to go a little bit bottoms up, and not in a good way. They weren't celebrating afterwards. It was 4-0 and 4-1 they lost to Juventus last match day. So Schalke not in the best of form when you consider their first match day were 2 1-0 wins against Celtic FC, who, yes, are towards the bottom of the table, but those are still 6 valuable points in an eFootball.pro season, in which 6 points are hard to come by. So Schalke really at this point need to at least get a point out of this matchup when you consider FC Bayern München, who are a team last week which scored an incredible team goal, are looking towards to be the top of the table at the end of the season.
Indeed. Wes, of course, some teams come with 3 players, some come with 4, some come with a manager. FC Bayern München have, of course, Lutti, who's also there in the team. What's his role, do you feel?
It's a fresh set of eyes. We mentioned this in match day 1 in terms of it's always good that if you're not in the bubble of playing, you have a fresh set of eyes to give you some ideas, to drop something in there.
And what a player to have as those set of eyes, who's
know,
been in there and done it across the board.
Multiple-time Austrian champion, tactically knows his stuff around the game. It's good to have that type of personality around the camp. And interestingly, when speaking to the Bayern Munich guys, this is the first match day where they've came in and gone, do you know what, we've had good preparation. You know, match day 1, match day 2, they didn't really have great preparation, yet they still managed to come away with 6 points that last match day.
That extra set of eyes as well, the reason we say it is so important is because it's so easy, especially in a game like eFootball PES 2020, to get caught up in the moment. We saw earlier on, I hate to name drop him, but Eldridge O'Neill getting very emotional. I mean, that's who he is, but oftentimes if he had a player behind him maybe just saying, let's calm down here, lads, I'm seeing something that you guys aren't seeing because you're blinded by the emotion of the moment. So that's something that Bayern München bring to the table in Lutti that you know could give them the X factor against other teams.
Because he's watching the whole pitch, isn't he? It's like almost watching, sat in the stands as a coach, as opposed to being on the touchline, or as a player. You're focusing on one specific element almost. Lutti's got the whole screen to take in what's going on, so therefore he has, like you said, that different set of eyes, which could be so crucial at the highest level.
Yeah, I mean, it's like looking at us three. You know, here we would look at things and see things differently.
We see nothing.
We see nothing. No, but we have the luxury of seeing replays. We have the luxury of seeing the entirety of the pitch. But we'll analyse it in a different way. We've all had different predictions today. We've all had different ways of looking at the game, and that just goes to show that the more sets of eyes you have on it, the better it is. So to have a coach in your back pocket to be able to call upon is a great weapon to have.
Indeed. Well, all eyes are on the match now between Schalke 04 and Bayern München, and it will be Schalke kicking from left to right in the blue and white strip, and Bayern München in the all red. And we didn't do predictions. Do we want to do predictions?
I would like to remain impartial.
Okay, Wes?
I'm going to say that it's going to be 4 points to Bayern.
Okay.
I won't say in what order of game, though.
Okay. The ball gets played down the right-hand side. Caligari with the pass, but it's been blocked out of play for a throw. Jalab finds shot. And good challenge by Hernandez. Good early period of pressure from Schalke. Is this something they need to do, Wes? Do they need to take the initiative in this game, or do they need to sit back, do you think?
I think they need to set the tempo quickly. because once Bayern settle into that rhythm, it's very hard to stop. So I think they've got to establish this very quickly and early on.
In towards Omar Mascarell, and his ball forwards was not a great one, hacked away. Thomas Müller, who of course tweeted out the best goal from last match day, which was nice to see. A couple of little emojis there. And Clusance now has the ball down the right-hand side, and it's in towards the middle. They can't quite get the attack going, though.
I think one of the reasons that people are starting to look at Bayern München as a real contender is because of that team goal, because of the goal that Müller tweeted out. It was so precise, so quick, and a classy pass for the assist as well. If you're all on the same page, that's the type of goal that eFootball PES can produce, and Bayern München did just that.
They did do that with aplomb, and Javi Martinez, who was so influential in matchday 3, and now Alex Alguacil controlling Hernandez, and now Jose with Thomas Müller. Just can't quite get the wrong side of Sane. A good challenge there coming in from Merriman. It's been a very cagey, quiet start, but can it spring to life here down the left-hand side? Whipped across the face. It's an easy claim in the end for Langer.
Yeah, it is. Almost tentative, I want to say, from both sides. You know, both showing signs of intent that they want to attack the other, but this could be a better opportunity here for Bayern München.
It definitely feels a sort of cagey all-German derby affair, even though it's not technically. It is on the eFootball.pro, as Langer now claims another tentative, easy cross, really, Harry.
Yeah, and that's not something that we saw really as a hallmark of Bayern München's play last week, when they did get those 2 wins against Barcelona that propelled them up the table.
Yeah, especially when you consider the players they have, the likes of Alex and Jose, you know, certainly known for their more of a tiki-taka style.
Yeah, it's not really their bread and butter when you consider crosses coming into the box. So maybe that's something they've identified here against FC Schalke.
And Wes, is that something that you've noticed the players have adapted to, in terms of they'll all have their kind of playing styles, but if they're playing for different teams, do they change the way, do they change their philosophy?
I don't think they necessarily change their philosophy, but they'll certainly change their personnel. I again was speaking at length to some of the Bayern guys, and you know, I asked the question, so where's Lewandowski? Why is he not playing? And they're like, well, although he's got a higher overall, he doesn't suit our style of play. His dribbling isn't the way that we want it to, and they find it more fluid playing with Rit and Xerxes. They find it better, and there's a mistake there.
Oh, he's in again. Chance to get the shot away. He's got numbers over the back post. Oh, my word. How on earth has that gone the wrong side of the post? It looked for all the world to see that it was going to be FC Bayern München 1-0 to the good, and somehow he's put it wide of the target, Harry.
Well, Mestre had the goal of the match day from match day 2. He now also has the miss of the season. That's a no-brainer. That should be in the back of the net. We should be singing their praises instead.
I mean, I know how easy it is to do in terms of me doing it, because I have done that before. When you've got your directional part, you know, you've got your direction going in that way, and you take the shot, you can often skew it. But for players of this caliber, Wes, that shouldn't happen, should it?
Well, you look at it and you just think, is that the pressure of it? Is it the fact that he had a defender right next to him? Could he have taken a touch to set himself instead? You know, you're seeing that Schalke are trying to grow back into this game now. They're sensing that, you know, one mistake has changed the game. They may be looking to ride their luck a little bit here.
That was a real let-off there for Schalke. Thomas Müller challenged by Sane and whacked away. 10 minutes remaining in the first half, still deadlocked at 0. A clash of heads there. Referee allows play to continue. Both players back on their feet as Harrit now picks the ball up, looking for Becker down the line, but instead it goes all the way through and deflected out off Pavard, and it looks like it will be a Bayern München throw-in, actually. Obviously came off the Schalke man last. There's a few groans around the stadium. Hernandez back to Manuel Neuer. He's had a quiet opening 40 minutes. He'll be relatively happy. To be honest, the Schalke #1 also has had a quiet opening 45 minutes. And the only real action came in the 6-yard box and went wide of the target.
Tension, though, is palpable here. You can really tell what this means between these two German clubs competing in the eFootball.pro 2020 season. You could cut it with a knife.
I thought you were going to miss it. The cliche was there for all the world to see, and I've just added another one as Lange now plays it out towards Nastasic.
But I think one of the reasons it is so tense and why this is such a palpable match to watch purely is because we know how dangerous Schalke can be on the counter. Yes, Bayern München arguably favourites, but Schalke, they're no slouches.
And when we look at this at half-time and it says 0-0 and there's not been a great amount of goal-mouth action, a lot of people would be forgiven for thinking, well, it's not really been a great game. But it's been fascinating at the same time, Wes, because tactically, seeing the two sets of sides and doing what they're doing, it's been a joy to watch, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, from a tactical standpoint, Schalke are waiting for that knockout blow. They've kind of reverted to type as they had in Matchday 1, where it was they kind of bought themselves a bit of time, allowed themselves to grow into the game. They're waiting for pressure to come so that they then can get their one opportunity and they need to put it away. Obviously, it's a massive chance for Bayern, and you know, like we said, those type of moments can really change games. We'd be sitting here with 1-0 saying about what a great performance it's been so far. Instead, we're talking about the tactical kind of nuances that, you know, we picked up during the game.
Whipped in towards a near post, hacked away by Becker. It's been a bright start from Bayern Munich, but as you said, Wes, Schalke looking to soak up a lot of possession and look for that killer knockout blow potentially on the counter-attack as that's a pretty harsh challenge, but the referee's given it a throw. I thought that looked like a free kick to me, but throwing it is for Bayern München.
Yeah, that knockout blow that they're looking for is something they did not once but twice against Celtic FC on the first match day. It's why they are sitting with 6 points in the table at the moment. That sucker punch is, well, it might be something come the end of the season. We know, remember, Schalke 0-4-4.
Harrit under the guard of Goul, and now in towards him again. And now chance to pull the trigger. No, El Matador just pickpocketed there at the last minute, and now Javi Martinez can't get on the ball either, and it's got really, really scrappy around the halfway line. They just can't seem to build any attacks at the moment.
One thing I like of what Schalke is doing, though, is that they realise how dangerous and direct Bayern can be. So when they sense they might have lost grip of the midfield battle a little bit, they just played it back right there, and it's so sensible, and it's something, it's a sense of maturity that we haven't seen really out of other squads. You think back to the match we just watched, Arsenal versus Barcelona. Arsenal constantly giving the ball away and giving Barcelona opportunities to capitalise. Schalke aren't giving Bayern that. That's how important this match is for both of these clubs.
Fine margins at this level, and certainly in this game, a moment of magic, a mistake, bit of genius can change proceedings as Pavard picks the ball up, races up over the halfway line in towards Hussens, and now pops it round the corner. One back by Harrit, and another chance for Schalke 04 to counter-attack here. Cagliari chased by Javi Martinez. Bujaleb, and now out towards the left-hand side. El Matador picks it up again and pops it off to Merriman. Merriman controlling Harrit, dispossessed though, and neither side still are able to create any inroads other than that one truly awful miss.
I hate to tempt fate, but I mean, if there was a goal to come soon, you might say it could be the winner. I hate to say that and maybe condemn one of these two clubs, but it could be the case in this type of game.
Certainly we need a goal because it's a real stalemate at the moment. Defences are on top as Cagliari saved by the left hand, a strong left hand of Manuel Neuer, and that was the first real chance for Schalke, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. And those are the types of chances, those sucker punch chances that they're looking for to just catch Bayern München off guard and surprise them.
Now Bayern Munich are one of the teams who probably were picks of Matchday 2 in terms of performances. They've not really been able to find that same gear, have they, Wes?
Yeah, they're struggling. They're struggling to hit that gear, but I still, as Harry alluded to, I think there's one goal in this.
You think there's a winner?
I think there's a winner in this somewhere. You can see that Bayern are getting slightly luckier down their attacking end of the pitch, and I can just see a mistake coming from potentially from one of the Schalke defenders.
Can you see anything coming from the fact that, again, we have the difference in formation between that almost cigarette or pencil-like formation on the right for Bayern München and the more width for Schalke?
Well, again, with Schalke, they're trying to use what they've got. They've got Schopp, they've got Brahman, that more than likely is on their bench as well. They've got Harit. They're trying to use those guys because they're not exactly blessed with quick forwards. You know, you've got, you know, the players that they've got on the pitch at the moment, you wouldn't necessarily say are, you know, explosive in terms of pace. So they're trying to utilise their quickness in midfield. Bayern, however, know what they've got to work with, and they've worked on it quite a lot.
The referee plays a good advantage because that was a beautiful challenge first, and then the foul came in, and it looks like it's going to be a yellow card here.
No yellow. He already was booked. I thought that might be a second yellow.
My eye was high in the mouth moment there. That looked to many people like that was potentially a second cautionable offence, but nothing doing, says a referee. Just a final warning, perhaps, as Hernandez. I mean, we don't like seeing 10 men generally in games anyway. It's always a more fascinating battle when you have 11 against 11, as Jaku tries to get onto his right foot to get the shot away. Sane, brilliant defending again. And how impressive are they defensively so far today, Schalke?
I mean, it's really been impressive when you look at the form table, at least, based on how Bayern were able to play last week. You would expect them to be winning this 3 or 4.
But all they need is one chance. There's 10 minutes, Wes, for them to find a winner, and it might come from a set piece.
Yeah, I think looking at it, it's one of their opportunities here.
Oh, Sane hacks away at the near post. Good defending in the end. The counter's on again here. You've got Harit, they're racing forwards. It's 4-on-3 here. The pass was a little bit behind Cagliari, and Harit maintains the attack out towards the right-hand side. Kutucu. Now Rahman and Will comes in to make a solid interception because the danger, the threat was certainly there, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, things certainly opening up as both teams are chasing the game at this point. They both sense that there are points on the table to be stolen away from the other.
I think they both know that a point they would feel happy with, but 3 points could be the difference between qualifying in that top bracket and not, as Cagliari dispossessed by Hernandez, and now Thomas Müller, left foot out towards the Jaku. Perhaps potentially a last chance here for Bayern München out on this left-hand side. Support from Arp in the middle. That's who it's directed to. Plays it across the face, and we've got a late winner from FC Bayern München, and barring some real incredible more drama, that might be the winner. And did you see the shush from Bayern Munich?
Wow, you can tell what that meant to Bayern Munich. As I said, as we alluded to, one more chance. There was going to be a goal in it, and you can see exactly what it meant to them.
It was a very well-worked counter again, and it's something that we warned and prophesied about pre-match. I think it is Matchday in the end who delivers the final blow, which is good for him considering that wide-open goal. The goal was gaping for him earlier on in the game.
I'm guessing from that celebration, it possibly might have stemmed from that miss in the first half. I'm guessing a few words came from the Schalke camp, and they were responded to. Not ideal, obviously, to see, but it just goes to show the passion, I suppose, at the highest level. And what a time to score, what a moment to, what a way to score. And it was very reminiscent of the goal for FC Nantes in that game against AS Monaco, the way they were able to reverse the pass back towards the on-rushing midfield player. Another brilliant bit of thinking.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's being aware of your surroundings at all times. We talk about how kind of some of these moves are autonomous, and a lot of people just kind of automatically do them. It's to be able to take yourself out of that, analyse the situation, go, wait a minute, there's somebody here with a better pass on, and finding it. It was the execution of it, and the braveness to take it on as a first-time shot as well. They had the room to set themselves, but to take it on as a first-time shot, it doesn't give you the reaction time to go with a manual goalkeeper. It doesn't give you a time to really react, and by the time you've realised, it's too late.
And Harry, if Bayern Munich are able to get over the line here, creeping up the table, doing what Monaco have been doing, and sometimes winning when they're not playing at their best.
Yeah, that's something certainly that they'll be very proud of if they are able to seal this one out. But there is a corner here late in the game. Confirmation. Oh no, not even a corner.
No, it was a miscued cross there from Schalke. Disappointing.
Thought that just took a deflection, but confirmation was not Mestre. It was Alex Alguacil to score that goal for Bayern München.
2 minutes have added on time. That's a really naughty challenge from Pavard. He knew exactly what he was doing, just trying to tick down the clock, but it gives Schalke. I mean, I've seen reds given for less than that, but another chance here for Schalke. The dying last chance saloon for Schalke. It's in towards Sane. He gets the flick on. It's ricocheting around anyone and everyone trying to get their foot on the ball. It's cleared away and it's finished here in a really fascinating last 10 to 15 minutes. Schalke 0, Bayern München 1.
I don't know what Schalke will be more disappointed with. Their performance last match day, losing in the way that they did against Juventus, shipping goals left, right and centre, or an 88th minute winner from Bayern München.
I know which one I would be more disappointed about, and that's this one. That's
certainly this one. But the good thing is they have a game ahead of them to turn things around. Still not over for them in this tie against Bayern München. They get to reset, they get to go again, but that club right there are in the driver's seat.
Wes, we talked about the Celtic game and how that last gasp equaliser for Celtic could be the most important goal of their season. For different reasons, that goal there for Bayern München, who have potentially different aspirations of going right to the top, that might be, you know, a huge goal.
Well, it's a massive turning point. We spoke about it, you know, as the German derby of eFootball.pro, and it is these types of emotional moments where you kind of look at it and go, that will change your season, and that certainly will for them. And it could even have a real knock-on effect for Schalke, Harry.
Oh yeah, that's it. I mean, Bayern München will be looking at that goal as I mean, obviously something that won them 3 points, but 3 valuable points on a match day where teams around them have dropped points. You think about Juventus just coming out with 4 points, I think it was, earlier on today. Manchester United not getting the result that they wanted against Celtic FC. So that's almost a game advantage for FC Bayern München over their rivals on the table.
So we're just seeing the players there, and
so you can see the
possibly
debate.
Jose there.
You can see the debates going on between the two of them.
I mean, it looked like, again, my Spanish isn't quite up to what it should be, but it looked like Jose was actually saying, regardless of what's happening, don't make the shush noises. You know, let's not get involved in that kind of sledging. And which, if that is what he said, I don't know. It would be nice to hear him say. At the end of the day, I mentioned it in the actual live comms that it's so difficult to sort of take yourself out of that situation, isn't it? When the emotions are there.
Well, you're in a bubble. You are in a bubble where you are trying to any little edge you can get on your opponent. We saw it. We've seen it historically from Eldridge O'Neill. We've seen it historically from many players who try and get a competitive edge by being a bit loud. You know, Venom, for example, with Arsenal, will shout and scream if he needs to one, try and get some emotion out, but two, it can unsettle the right players. It will unsettle them to a point where you'll go, oh, okay, well, I'm in that type of game now. And that's what you try and do. You're trying to get any type of edge you can.
So, here we are for the second game between these two hugely famous German giants, FC Bayern München versus FC Schalke 04. The first game finished with that late winner for Bayern München in the 87th minute, and giving them 3 points for the day. They'll be looking to get another 3 to finish with 6, but equally Schalke, after getting no points in Matchday 2, will be looking to wrestle something from today. Calgary down the right-hand side. Good, solid defending there from Bayern Munich. And guys, I'm guessing we're probably going to see a fairly similar pattern of play unless we get an early goal.
we might see a switch in mentality from the Schalke boys. I mean, we talk about the M word so much, mentality. That cross is a little bit wayward. But I don't think, when you look at the makeup and the complexion of this Schalke 04 roster, I don't think they're the type to just sort of slump in their seats and, you know, get down on themselves after a bad loss like that in the very final moments. I think they're going to be energised. I reckon they might try and take the game to Bayern München here.
10 minutes gone here. Deadlocked at 0-0. Chance to cross it into the danger area. It's ricocheted around, just can't quite find a teammate in red. And now Harriet has the chance to play a wonderful switch with the outside of the right boot. And now Calgary gets it back. Hernandez with a crunching little snap challenge, as the Sane with a equally brilliant challenge. The slide this time as Storfraudau finds Calgary. Chance to cross it in. Challenge coming in from Cousins. Are you seeing anything so far, Harry?
I mean, just going to wait and see how this Schalke attack plays out. They still have possession, and this is better from them. Realistically, they want to remind Bayern München they are still in a scrap here. They are still in a game in which Schalke can surprise them.
The thing that worries me about this is the fact that the counter-attack is well and truly
Look
on.
at the pace.
And it's Bayern Munich to go 1-0 up, and that has to go down as a huge missed opportunity, because that is a gilt-edged chance.
It's Xerxes running with them. If you look here, if hopefully we get a different... No, there's a square ball. And granted, Xerxes got the run on his man. That's a blown opportunity at the moment.
Yeah, Jose,
even without the pass, he's got to put that in the back of the net.
at least trouble the keeper, hit the target. Jose, the captain for Bayern München there, bit of a missed opportunity, bit of a fluff up.
But prior to that attack materialising, I was in the process of saying it's dangerous territory now for Schalke. They're 3 points down already. There's another chance here. They're wide open at the back, and a goal's been taken, and it's a great finish. And he pulls the shirt up, he pulls the name up, and they take the goal that they deserve, really, let's be honest.
Just as in game one, it's the man who missed an opportunity earlier on, making amends and getting a goal for Bayern München. Beautiful, beautiful play there. And realistically, Schalke can look back at that, maybe relaxing a little bit too on the ball here. I mean, that's again a mistake, too lax of a pass to be playing when you are under that amount of pressure.
Whereas you're shaking your head there. It's a real error, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know, we heard about it all the time from United in their post-match about, you know, mistakes that they make. That's a real error. Like, you can't be that lax, especially when you know how Bayern press up that end of the field. You can't be that lax and try and play a ball where you shouldn't play it. You know, you have to play the smart options. Don't try and do anything cavalier, especially, you know, on the kind of the fault line of your 18-yard box. Don't be that cavalier.
Yep, Captain Jose, his first goal of the season for Bayern München.
23 minutes gone here. Bayern Munich 1, Schalke 04 0. Not the start that Schalke wanted, but certainly the start that was almost inevitable when they started playing such a high line against a team who like to press and win the ball back so high, and then they're on you like a flash. It's exactly what happened. It was a great finish in the end. I mean, we talk about the mistake, but let's make no bones about it. It was a great first touch to get it out of his feet round the goalkeeper and put the ball into the back of the net.
And it was that wherewithal. It was the wherewithal to not pull the trigger as soon as you get the ball. Instead, you round the keeper and you leave yourself a very easy opportunity. It's
a very different Schalke that we're seeing, considering the first game, how they played. So precise, careful with the ball. They are just careless in this first half of game two, and you need to look after the ball, or you are certainly in danger of Bayern München doing just this.
I mean, it is understandable. Of course, you've lost the chance to get 3 points on the board, so the pressure's already on. And you know, on the flip side, Bayern Munich are full of confidence. They've got 3 points. They're off the mark for the day, and they're now starting to race through the gears. Thomas Müller deflected shot up and over the top, and at this moment in time, it's a matter of how many.
Yeah, I think looking at it, Bayern seem to have just taken the ascendancy again, and yeah, you're worried for Schalke at this point unless they can salvage something.
That's what I mean. I'm not saying it's inevitable. I'm just saying that if the chances keep coming like this, it's a case of how many.
They certainly can't keep up this sloppy nature.
Left foot shot, deflected. Oh, it's gone through the keeper's legs, and it's smuggled wide of the target, and half of the stadium thought that was in the back of the net. In towards the near post, flicked away. Still, they can't get out. Javi Martinez, chance to pull the trigger. Somebody shoot. Crossed in, blocked away, and they just can't get out at the moment. And it's only a matter of time, you feel, before the lead has doubled.
You can tell Bayern München just having fun on the ball at the moment. It's a complete contrast in mentalities. Look at that, back heel to Goretzka.
Playing with a swagger, headed down towards goal. Thomas Müller recycles possession, 5 minutes. And a crucial 5 minutes, and one that Schalke want to see the back of. They want to get to half-time unless they can snatch an equaliser. Harrit challenged by Pavard, who was brilliant in that first game.
It's a ball played too early. He had room, he had grass in front of him to run, and I feel like Schalke, again, just rushing things, getting caught up in the moment here. Need to keep their heads about them.
It just goes to show, you mentioned keep their heads, but it is such a mental battle. Not only is it how good you are with the players on the field, but to deal with these situations that you are put into mentally is sometimes 80–90% of the problem, Wes.
Yeah, and it's like we say, we talk about all the skills that happen, you know, on the game and on the pitch. We forget about the kind of the intangibles. Like, as we've said before, there's determination, there's grit, there's desire, all of these kind of qualities that you can't quite measure. Those are those qualities that make champions. That's why we see Monaco are the way they are, full of confidence. They are kind of confidence personified. I think we're starting to see at the moment the real makings of Bayern Munich starting to get to that level.
We certainly are, and that first game was one that they had to dig out. No two ways about it. A very even affair, but you have to say right now they are looking a real force in eFootball.pro.
Yeah, when they start having fun and play the way they did towards the latter stages of that first half. I mean, even thinking back to the goal, it was such a fun piece of football to watch because they were all on the same page, and that's something you have to be in this 3 versus 3 style competition. You can't just be a lone wolf trying to do everything yourself. You all have to be on the same page, and that's something that Bayern München certainly have been so far.
You're still seeing Lutzi there talking to the players, and it's they're really taking on board what he's saying. So clearly, as we mentioned, it is having an effect. Are you surprised, Wes, that more teams aren't doing this?
I'm surprised that teams haven't employed a coach or a manager to be up there, to be a full set of eyes, because we're seeing the benefits of it. I mean, even we saw it in the early match days with Manchester United when they had the almighty DS, who was chipping in with parts to those guys. It's of a great benefit to have, and sometimes you can have the blinders on and not really see what's happening in front of you.
Out towards Caligari, will you feel that Schalke need a really, really strong start to the second half? Because if they concede any more chances, this game is as well as done as Manuel Neuer pulls off a smart stop. It could have gone more in the corner to give him more problems, but it's a good start from Schalke, but Bayern Munich survive and go down the right-hand side on the counter-attack. Support from Zerzi. Challenged away. Pulled back, and that is going to be a free kick on the edge of the penalty area. Right on the line for the goalkeeper. And a booking. You could say a cynical foul, Harry.
Yeah, certainly one that is just going to try and prevent a counter-attack. I must say that the chance we saw just moments ago from Schalke was so well worked, because I counted 4 Bayern München players surrounding a player on the ball.
Lovely challenge, lovely clearance there from Nastasic to clear the ball away from Thomas Müller. Here is Cousins, who has that yellow card to his name. Zirkzee now in towards the danger area. Chance to pull the trigger. Oh, the pass was on as well. Wes screaming at the monitor again there. What should he have done there, Wes?
Well, there's 2 players on. You can either go with option A, which is he's right on the penalty spot, or you go option B and he's at the back post. I think, personally, I would probably try to have dinked it to the back post, because that middle pass is 9 times out of 10 marked, because players expect that pass.
Yeah, Matchday was wide open. I was watching that passage of play thinking, yeah, we've got the second, it's job done for Bayern München. But as long as they aren't clinical in those types of situations, they're always leaving the door open just slightly for Schalke 04 to come back into this game.
Absolutely. Wes, we talked about risk. We talked about doing things that the opposition won't expect, and we're talking about free kicks and, you know, long shots, things like that. But also, formation-wise, should Schalke be doing something outside of the ordinary? I know they've changed now from a 4-4-2 to the 4-3-3, but it's still something that Bayern Munich will be very, very familiar with defending against.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that you have to play against what is in front of you. If I'm Schalke, I would be packing the midfield, because the midfield battle is being lost. You know, every time the ball goes into midfield, it's either Suissant or it's Javi Martinez, or it's somebody just sapping the strength out of that lineup. They have to do something, like we said, and they've brought on Will now, which means they've got an extra anchorman on the pitch. Anchormen, for those at home, players that will naturally just sit there, and with Martinez and Will, that's a brick wall that's being formed.
Yeah, well, we talk time and time again about Javi Martinez in match day 2, and once again, he is proving a very difficult customer to get round. He actually got booked on that last attack, but he stopped the attack nevertheless, and the resultant free kick came to nothing as Harriet now turns, plays it down the line towards the substitute Rahman, chance to cross it into the danger area. Hernandez this time, oh, he goes down on the edge of the area. Referee waves away the appeals from the Schalke 04 supporters, but it's in towards Rahman, chance to pull the trigger, can't quite get it out of his feet, as I couldn't get the words out of my mouth.
Signs of promise though, Adam. Schalke still in this game, and you think back to those opportunities that Bayern München have had. If they get another one, they have to be clinical and they have to put it away.
Down the right-hand side, support in the middle from Thomas Müller, good defending, but they've won a corner. No, they haven't.
Wow.
It's a goal kick, and it's been a long day.
I thought for sure that was a corner as well.
Well, I did. My eyes have deceived me there. Wes, it's last chance saloon, really, for Schalke. What would you do in their position right now? There's half an hour remaining. They're 1-0 down. They've got no points from the first game. How would you rectify this situation?
If you're Schalke, you play to your strengths. If I was Schalke, I'd be looking at set pieces, try and get it into the corner, try and work a throw-in, try and work a corner, because ultimately that's where they are strongest. The only issue with that, of course, is that Bayern Munich are well equipped to deal with that. The likes of Boateng, the likes of Pavard, the likes of Sula, they have physical weapons at the back. So kind of the strength that Schalke has is being nullified by the strength that Bayern has, and it's kind of really breaking down when they get into those environments.
Indeed, in a game that's lacked in attacking quality, but certainly not in terms of the tactical side of the game, are we about to witness a German efficiency masterclass from FC Bayern München, Harry?
Potentially. I still think that they might come to rue that chance that potentially, well, I mean, really should have been a goal. And as long as Schalke are within one, they've shown promise in past match days. You think about those 2 wins they got against Celtic. If they are able to get a goal here, then potentially they should be able to see it out.
Harriet blocked by Müller. Pressure starting to build here for Schalke, and that'll please them, but so dangerous on the counter-attack Bayern Munich can be, as Perisic gives the ball away.
You look at how Bayern Munich are setting up during that last little phase. There wasn't a single Bayern Munich player in the attacking half, so they're very much looking to sit on this now and sap the strength of those substitutes that have come on.
And do you think that's down to the fact that they're concerned by Schalke 04, or do you think they would do this against any opposition?
I personally think they'd do this against any opposition, and the thing is, they still have energy in attack where they can break in numbers.
They can, and one of those numbers is Thomas Müller. It's in towards Art, he can't get the shot away, and the offside flag is raised, and rightly so. A yard at least, and the attack fizzles out. 15 minutes are all that stands between another 100% match day for FC Bayern München.
Yeah, I think the intention of that pass there was for the other Bayern München player there in support on the attack, but here is Riet through once again.
Riet finds Müller up on the overlap on the left-hand side. He's away from Sane, plays it back towards Riet, but it's gone wide of the target, off the defender. And you'd have to say a half chance, but You'd expect them on their day to take those sort of chances on the counter-attack. And a good block from Rahman. Another corner, but Bayern Munich will be very, very happy with where the ball is right now. Set-piece strategies at the top right-hand side. Are we going to see one of those right now? Oh, I mean, he's not that tall, is he, Art?
No, he's a little bit too short for that one. It's a little bit too high for him, but Schalke here just going to settle. I thought they might try and take it quickly and maybe try and hit Bayern in transition on the counter, but they're just going to take their time here, allow Bayern to get bodies behind the ball and try and break them down man for man.
Schalke 04 have had 2 very, very tough game weeks against Juventus and Bayern Munich, but it looks like they might possibly be coming out of both with absolutely nothing, which would be quite drastic at this stage in the competition as Nastasic plays it back towards Langen. Quite frankly, Bayern Munich will be very, very happy with how they've negotiated the last 20 minutes, because they've been very, very much, even without possession, you'd have to say, in control of proceedings.
Absolutely, and time is running out, but might there just be one last chance? Pairs can be such a fickle game.
A cruel mistress.
Really can. We'll have to see if the chance will drop in Schalke's favour.
Becker picks the ball up off Reed, back header, and now Sané has the chance to race up over the halfway line. It's last chance saloon for Schalke 04. It's into the dying embers, the last minute of added on time. Just 2 minutes, says the 4th official. And right now, Bayern München are just seconds away from all 6 points. Unless there's a late drama, it's in towards the danger area. Surely a chance to level the scores. And somehow it's smuggled away. And Perisic completes the clearance. And FC Bayern München have won the first game 1-0, the second game 1-0. And how impressive as a professional performance, Wes, was that?
It's perfect. It was perfect. They did exactly what they needed to do at the right times. They took the pressure, they then put them under pressure, and came away with 6 points. It's perfect. They kind of Schalke. It's very, very strange for me to say that.
Schalke.
They have Schalke.
It really was a very, very professional performance, and we will be going to the mix zone shortly to hear from Harry and the players. Be very interesting to see how the two teams, saw that one, because from us up here, it was a very, very tight one. That little bit of quality, Wes, that won it on the day for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I think Schalke may look at the chances and go, well, we should have pushed a little bit more, but it was quality, even though there was glaring misses here and there, and there was at least 2 opportunities I counted between the 2 games there. It should have been a great finish, but it's the awareness of that type of touch and that type of finish there that we saw that it won the day. It was those 2 bits of quality, and I think Schalke are lacking a little bit of that at the moment.
Where does Schalke go from here now? Because they've had 2 game weeks with a blank.
Well, they need to look and find a system that works for that team. You look at the players that they've got in terms of the players they're utilising. Is it a case that a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2? Maybe they need to go one up top. Maybe they need to start flooding the midfield. Maybe they need to look at those midfield weapons that they've got. Lack of McKennie was on the pitch today. Harit was largely ineffective. Rama, when he came off the bench, didn't really have that kind of impact that he'd had on previous match weeks. Maybe it's something they need to look at.
Not a great deal of goalmouth action to talk over. Just a couple of goals over the 2 games. We did have a glaring miss from Bayern Munich, didn't we? Which, luckily for them, didn't come back to haunt them.
Yeah.
Would they be concerned with the lack of attacking threat they showed, or do you think they played that game exactly how they planned due to the opponents they were playing against?
I think it was their game plan. I think we've seen Bayern Munich be able to turn it on, and the way that they looked at that today was, let's get in, let's get our points, and let's go.
Yeah.
And I think they played that to perfection.
End of the first game, start of the second game, 6 points for Bayern München. Do you see them as a real threat in this competition? Do you see them as going right to the top? Can they match or better AS Monaco?
I think when you look at it, I think they're borderline up there at the moment. I think when we do eventually see a Bayern Munich versus Monaco,
fascinating game.
It's going to be that's going to be a tussle, because you'll have a counter-attacking, high kind of high-speed kind of gameplay from Monaco. But you'll have the type of gameplay that Bayern Munich can produce, where it's slow, but it's methodical, but they know where the ball wants to go. And I think that's going to be the impact. But certainly, I think they're announcing themselves as quietly as contenders.
And from a Schalke point of view, they have, of course, won the first 2 games in Matchday 1-0 apiece. So they scored 2 goals in that game, Matchday. They were pretty poor in the second game. Do you think the lack of goals is a concern?
I think for them it's a case of it's a lack of understanding, or it's a lack of knowing where their attacking threats are. You know, you look at Ram and you look at Harit, you look at those types of players. Are they utilising them in the right way? I've got no concerns with them though. I still think that they're an outside shot for top 6, and I think that, you know, today will be a blow and it'll be bitter because of it, you know, being a German derby. But you know, they'll come again.
We'll hear from them right now. Harry's in the mix zone with the guys from Schalke 04.
Thank you very much, Adam. Yes, I'm here with the boys from Schalke. I'll try and keep it brief because obviously it's never nice trying to dissect, you know, 2 losses back to back. But try and give me your initial thoughts. What went wrong there against FC Bayern München? You guys were hanging in there for so long, but you lost both games in the end.
Yeah, I think we played very well. A good build-up. In these 50-50 situations, we were a bit unlucky, but yeah, at the end, it's obviously that our forwards and our wingers are too slow and not good enough. And yeah, we didn't create much chances, and that's why we lose 1-0, 1-0.
Maybe you're begging Schalke to do some business in the January transfer window.
Hope so.
Let's talk about match day 4. You guys play against FC Barcelona. How are you guys going to try and bounce back from 2 disappointing match days back to back?
Yeah, we trained us several times against Barca, beat them several times, so I think it's a 50-50 game.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you guys can get the job done, guys. Unfortunate there not to come away with any points against FC Bayern München. Adam and Wes, back over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Harry. Disappointing, obviously. Commiserations to Schalke 04. I mean, they'll be back. They're seasoned professionals. I don't think they'll linger on this too much. But do they need to dig deeper into the reasons why these results aren't coming, or do you think they've just come up against teams that are on their day just better than them? It's hard to read in a game that was so close.
I think a little bit of it, they still need to inspect, because whenever you lose a game, you have to go away and look at, okay, so how did we lose this game? And if it's a case that they come up and go, do you know what, Bayern Munich, they just took 2 chances and that was it. Although if they then go back and look at clips and they go, oh, actually there was passes on here, or I could have given my co-op partner a shout to say, oh, actually I'm on for a pass here, then you've got to work on those parts. Like I said, I've got no reservations that they will make top 6, but I think at the moment, and looking at the Barca game, that is going to be an intriguing one, because as we said, they're not really a physical team. Schalke have physicality all over the place. They've got Sane, they've got Stambouli, if they brought them in. There's players there that they can utilise to great effect against.
Could they utilise them in a more like an FC Nantes kind of way, with the likes of that focal point through Koulibaly and sort of play off there, or do you not think they have the same attributes as a squad?
I don't think they've got that type of player. I don't think they have a Koulibaly. I don't think they have like a Silimani. I don't think they have like a focal point. Or at least I haven't seen that yet. And like I said, in terms of the way that I would approach it, don't go and try and play the way that everyone else is. Try and set something up differently. Go 4-5-1. Go and try and make something happen, because they have players there that can lock down a midfield. It's just how they utilise them.
And from Bayern Munich point of view, what would you like to see from them in this interview? What's your dying question to them for their opinions about where they go from here?
I think for Bayern, I think it's just a case of kind of, you know, were they happy with just 1-0 victories? Was it a case that the game plan was to just come away, get 1 goal and then sit back? Or was it a case that actually they wanted loads of goals and they wanted to really punish them?
Well, let's find out now. A disappointing first week, a electric second match day, and a professional double 1-0 today. Harry, how are the guys? What's the mood like?
Thanks, Adam. I'm about to find out. Guys, congratulations. 6 points against FC Schalke 04. You guys must be very happy with how that went.
Yeah, we are very excited because it's very difficult to remain 6 points. Maybe the style of play of Schalke today was very hard for us because it's like he looking for a draw. So we need the 6 points. We are now on the second position of the table. It's very important for us, and maybe winning Schalke it's a very important achievement for the club too. So we are very happy about the match day today.
Match day 4, you guys are going to continue or try and continue your winning form. You played Boavista. Yep. What are your thoughts about that team? Are you expecting anything maybe surprising from Boavista?
Well, for me, Boavista it's a very smart and technical team. It will be very, very, very hard because with Pedro, it's a very smart guy. He's the captain of the team. They analyze the way we play, so maybe we are going to work hard, like all the weeks. And we will see what happens the next match.
Awesome, thanks guys.
Enjoy.
Now's the time to enjoy, exactly. 6 points for FC Bayern München. Adam and Wes, back over to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Whatever, that my German isn't that great. Yeah, no, a really, really impressive performance from FC Bayern München there. Another 6 points for them. Let's take a look at that action and the rest of today's action in a short highlight clip now.